Okay, Virgo, we're back to do your video. And I'm hoping this one works because the buffering has been phenomenal. So I think I need a new modem, but I'm pre-recording them and I'll try and upload them and hopefully that will work. Now, if you're wanting to make a booking, you can go to the link directly below. I did delete the other videos, and that's because the quality was very poor and people were saying that the messages weren't coming through correctly. So I feel it's necessary, and perhaps there's additional messages that are going to come through. So I'm redoing the two that I deleted. So apologies, but hey, technology related things do happen. Now, a lot of the energy that is going on with most of us is we still have the shadow period. Now, a lot of people might be really going back over old ground at an emotional level. Now, this can be any health related areas. You're going to have triggers. So, you know, if with those emotions, what you'll find is if you have any trigger points connected to the way in which you deal with adversity, this can be excessive eating, excessive smoking, lack of sleep, any habits, they can actually come through during this shadow period. And it would have been coming through probably from February onwards, really, but most of us being a bit more aware of that factor now. Some of the energy might be lightening up, but there still will be easy 2 to 3 weeks of a shadow period, I'm feeling environmentally, moving into May. Now, there really is a lot of things where emotionally you guys are going to be dealing with aspects of blocks and purging. So that can be directly connected to your career. Now, in your career sector, you need to own your worth. Now, a lot of what has been coming through is you're going to need to look back over your lifetime. So directly connected to career, if you're finding you're having no aspect of forward motion, part of the key to the shadow period is look back to the mindset of family and what their kind of vibes were towards your working ethic. That may be something that you need to outgrow and outlearn. If it's still relevant and it's working directly for you, then you'll be okay. But if it's more, you know, an aspect of their mindset and you've outgrown that and you have a different mindset connected, it might be that you want to go into a different area, you know, altogether with work, or, you know, the hours that you're wanting to work don't directly match in with either your partner or, you know, your circle of friends and your family. You physically would have changed. So, and this is relevant for everyone. So the way you directly work in with your career, you're going to have to really own your worth. And very much that is what's coming through, is to remove those blocks connected to career. So really do own your worth around this time and have a look at how you can directly apply that to your given situation right now. If that means you need to put your resumes out to apply for that top-notch job, this would be the best time to do it. Although don't be hard on yourself and don't second guess yourself. You know, if you still are purging, try and wait for that shadow period to move, and then by the second week of May, it should bode better. But definitely 100% own your worth and mix it up a bit. Now, when it comes to habits, you're going to have to be really cautious because you might have trigger points, and that is quite natural during this time as well. Now, connected to family and relationships are really going back over old ground, but a lot of us are dealing with karmic-related energy. So what may happen is if you have a block in a relationship, it may stem back to your childhood, you know, the way in which you looked at your mother or father dynamic. Also, there will be another aspect where, hey, if you didn't have next of kin and they were non-biological parents but deemed as kin, the way you looked at that relationship and the way you applied that energy to your given relationships. Now, there would have been a relationship in between that factor. And for those of you who didn't have a relationship, you know, from moving, it depends on your age bracket. Really going back over old ground emotionally and seeing where that block lies and how your attitude towards relationships has now changed. Now, if it needs to change and there's been a block directly connected to that, that's when it's going to come to light. So again, this energy would have been from February through to March. January, February, March, May. Yeah, so through that period from February onwards, you would have been experiencing briefly those dynamics, but very heavily in April moving through to the following month, which is where this video is relevant. Now, if these things have been happening, it can be due to a karmic cycle and a previous life. So try not to be hard on yourself, but try and process the information, assess what is relevant to you right now. And if it's directly working for you, you know, really, really dive in deep and see whether the relationship you're currently in is who you are to the core. If you need to reshuffle it to make it fit better into who you are today. So try and keep that open communication there to help that kind of move forward. Many of you, if you're, you know, if you were in and out, that's quite common as well during this time, because there is, again, the shadow period where people can be actually going back into karmic related dynamics to purge that blockage so they can have a more stable union. And it can be that they choose that and they deem it as that's their expectation. But if it's geared where they're supposed to live in that energy for a longer period of time, then they may do. But you'll have to book a reading for me to tune into that direct person. Now let's see what's coming up in your energy. Many of you are really wanting to push forward. Some of you are even wanting to move. And you're looking at your current dynamic and you're saying, look, I really do need to move. So again, that does depend on, you know, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're living at home with parents, etc. But there is a direct environment where there is an aspect of move or change, and how you directly apply. I had a message from a friend. How you directly apply that energy into your current situation. Okay. Now I'm going to pull some healing cards as well. And then I'll do a relationship reading, or in general, you know, how you're looking at romance at the moment. Now, you are trying to gain some clarity for your future and where you're wanting to go. Some of it is still very, very much, I'm trying to not let the glare go on that, very much in the dark. So you're trying to gain the clarity on that. You're having to use your intuition. Your intuition is actually quite high this month. You've got to be careful though, because we are in an area where there is ego-related energy coming through. So that can be for good or bad. Try not to let your ego drive you. Try to be very cautious in the way you communicate at times. And this is for everyone as a collective. You know, it can come across quite harsh. So just be super cautious about, you know, how you're directly communicating, whether you're coming from a place of your truth or whether you're placing it onto another person's energy through an aspect of anger. You've got to be super cautious. Okay, you are wanting to be fancy free this month. Trying to get the angle correct. So it may be that you're really not wanting to tie yourself down and you're trying to find that balance so that it fits directly in with your life a lot better than it has. And that can be really challenging, especially with aspects of obligation coming through. Now, you're not sure what way to go. You may have several choices this month, and this might be related to relationships as well, 2 choices. So you're really undecided about what you're going to do at this point in time. And it may be that you need to meditate a little bit longer. You're also budgeting money at the moment, so it can be at times not enough is coming in. But again, as I said, it is boding good for you guys. You've just got to apply the relevant energy. Now, this can be because you're swapping careers. It can be because you're just starting off, be it you're in a business or you're changing the dynamic and you're really having to lay out a lot of cash at the moment. So again, be quite cautious with that energy this month. You may have a Libran who's directly dealing with you, or simply you might actually be dealing with aspects of balance. And again, this can be cash, this can be your relationships, how you're emotionally feeling. I'm leaning you against my computer, so if I look fluorescent, it's because the computer's shining brightly at me. Had a very busy month, and it hasn't even started really, it's the first. Okay, you're going to have to really use your emotional intelligence. Some of you are actually going to be working in education or educating other people. It might be you're dealing with the education system with children, and that you might be reading things to actually upskill. You're also going to be very creative this month, and you're going to have to really think on your feet. So it is a very, energetic month for you. You may not wish to be intimate. You might be really undecided about what you're wanting right now, but it might be that your energy is feeling quite low, and you may be looking at your appearance and really wanting to change it up a little bit. But you directly do have a lot of choices to make this month, and it might make you quite anxious. I'll pull a clarifier on that. What are these choices about? It's actually making you very nervous. But you do have free will at hand. We all have free will. It can be connected to getting a playful energy back. It can be connected to children and family. And maybe even your childhood, to actually purge it and let it go so it's not holding you back any longer. Some things are yet to be seen, and you may need to wait, but something might be coming towards you that you're physically not seeing, and it takes you by surprise. Pull a clarifier on that. Can be abundance. So it might be a new job. It might be a new asset, a possession. And again, some of you aren't feeling home. You are thinking about moving home, and that was coming through earlier on in the piece. Okay. Healing cards. What messages do we have for Virgo? Now, I will be doing the twin flame video. As I said, I've had a pretty hectic month. Lots of things coming at left field, lots of tower moments. But it should be getting back on track, so apologies for the delay. Things are changing for you guys. So if you're feeling blocked and you think things are not going to change, nothing ever stays the same forever. So the things that you're not wanting to change, they're going to change. That's another thing that's coming through this month. Now, there is an energy where the past is coming back. So if you've had a block, karmic energies can come back where we have to revisit them, assess them, purge them, and either stay or release. So there can be some real crosswise, and especially in relationships this month. So if there's unresolved feelings or a blocked matter, emotionally, verbally, or physically, it may be revisited. Okay, you do understand the aspects of the law of attraction, so you are being super cautious about that, and what you put out is what you will get back, so balance the karma. Okay, some of it you're actually giving your power away, connected to what you can manifest though. So some of it you feel is out of your control. So even if you're in a toxic situation, you feel financially you're not moving forward, it is saying that in fact you can do that, to just take your power back and do the work in that area. Okay, there is no such thing as an unchangeable condition. So if you are feeling this month that things aren't changing, it's saying in fact that they are going to change, and try and hold faith to that situation, that it is going to change for the better. But again, do try and keep a very positive mindset. Now, some readers say, you've got to keep your vibration high. Look, we're human. So if you're going into that purging moment and you're needing to heal, do so. But once you've had that time frame, cleanse yourself, have a shower, and try and move forward. Have your good and your bad moments, which is relevant, but try and keep the pace going. But don't overburden yourself. Okay, some of you are wanting to, again, it's come up. Some of you are wanting to change your appearance, or you think it's out of your control. Again, it is a mindset, and it is physically up to us if we're feeling we're needing to do that. Now, it might be that you're changing your diet or the way you directly apply yourself to your routine or regime. Okay. By you choosing who you mix with at a social level, an emotional level, and a physical level, that is where you end up having a better vibration. So it can be that you remove certain friendships, certain toxic friendships, and that can be so the people around you are actually helping raise your vibration to a happier frequency. Also, your mindset of you choosing to be happy in the given weather, whatever that be, that's going to help you move forward, both emotionally and physically. Okay, some of you are feeling, though, this is not a changeable story, that your physical well-being is something that is like in your body. So some of you might have a condition, and again, I'm not a doctor, so you know, if you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor, follow your instincts. Our personal instincts are always our most strongest instinct, and we should always trust that factor. But this card is about the fact that you feel some aspect of a physical dynamic is set in stone. And again, it is a mindset. Sometimes we do have those physical 3D aspects going on, be that emotional, physical, or personal. But where you can change it, try and change your train of thought. And again, it might be a code word that you use directly to give you a heads up of how to change that aspect. Some of you are very concerned about a family member. I feel this is several family members. Some of you are wanting to move away from certain family members as you're feeling it's impacting your health. It also might be that you start mixing with some friends that you haven't seen in a long time, and you avoid the aspect of the areas around you that are triggering you at the moment. You are wanting to be... The funny thing is with you guys, I feel you don't want to be in hermit mode anymore. Some of you have felt the need to be in hermit mode, but some of you are really wanting to change your life up quite a bit, and you're realizing this through this process. It's like you just feel you've done something the same way for too long, and some aspects you feel, can it ever be changed? Is it too late? Other aspects is like, well, it has to, it just can't stand it as it is. So yeah, there's several energies coming through with that. At a romantic level, you're wanting someone to be very mature. These are your needs. This is what's coming in. So it's either this person is coming in, or that's what your expectation is. Okay, but you are waiting. And you're waiting for something to come together, but you're feeling it's really not. This is couples and singles, general energy for romance in general. Okay, but you are moving into a frequency where you're not going to get up in your head too much about it. It's like you've raised the benchmark and that's your expectation. But you have been working very hard. And you do feel you don't want to work so hard at relationships or towards a relationship if you choose to invest. You're also very cautious about people around you. Some of you might have had somebody betray you, so you're very cautious about the way you're looking at relationships, the type of people you let into a relationship with you, and the connection you have maybe with the current partner, and how other people interact with you personally to protect the energy of the relationship. You're very concerned about finances though, but don't think it directly defines you. Yes, it can change your frequency where you feel better about yourself and more positive for your future, but don't think that you are merely defined by money alone. And do have the faith connected to it. It can be that a relationship is going to move to the next level, or that you spiritually are moving to the next level. Now, this person, be it you're in the relationship with or they're coming towards you and you're manifesting in, they're coming out of a mental prison. So their frequency is changing and they're more open to this possibility. But they might be coming across a little bit immature at the moment. But again, remember, we're in the shadow period and it might be due to triggers around them. Okay. They might not be completely ready to rush this situation with you. They're still healing with something. And that they might not be as happy at the moment. But again, I think this is a personal thing. But you know, that they might be coming across as young and like they don't want something too heavy right now. But again, 2-week period. Okay, let's see. I'll pull extra cards. What about after the 2 weeks? Yeah, there might be a bit of conflict. But again, I feel it's external to you. It's really, that might be, check their rising signs. Okay, they're wearing a false mask, so it might be they're putting a brave face on like everything's okay, but I do feel something personal is going on with them. I'm going to pull a couple of chakra cards for them. They're following their intuition, but they're not talking about something. Can be that they're feeling irresponsible. They're holding their cards quite close to their chest. Yeah, their spiritual path they're questioning. Okay, so they've got their crown chakra. They're using their intuition. So it might be to do with you. They might not be communicating this. And they may not be completely responsible for it. And let's find out why. And they might not be at home as much. Might be they're working too much. But that would be responsible. So I think it might have something to do with you. Okay. There's room for movement with you. And you are being romantic with them, or feeling that romance intent towards. But you're not communicating, so it's causing them not to communicate. So you need to open up about things. You know, if you don't do the work with it, it will cause a dynamic in it. So I'm going to leave it on that note. If you are wanting to book a reading, like I said, you can go to the link directly below. And have a night, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.